Thank you for tuning in to Inward Beauty, where we remind beauties everywhere of how beauty starts within. This is High Frequency Finance, showing everyone how to see clearly what's already theirs. With us, we have community activists again. With us, Angela Sylk Powell. Angela, you go ahead and you introduce yourself.
Thank you, Miss Towya. Hello there, everyone. I am Angela Sylk Powell, founders of Sisters with a Purpose Networking Club, powered by First Defense, Debt, Rehabilitation, and Credit Repair. So the topic this evening, we're talking about crisis control this episode. We're going to break it up into two segments. The first segment is the 30-day, 90-day, 6-month, and 1 year method. Okay, we're going to talk about emergency savings, life protection, and prioritizing all of your insurance policies.
Mhm.
Okay, we're going to take about 30 minutes of your time. The second segment, we're going to discuss finding financial resources outside the box, how to benefit with policy cancellation, when to cash out and restart your finances, essentials for reorganizing your budget and expense. That'll be the next segment. But for now, we're going to talk about crisis control that is determined by your level of financial literacy, period. The more you know, the better you do, and the better you
Mhm.
can succeed to obtain crisis control. There we have it.
So the last time you and I spoke about crisis control, there were so many scenarios you shared, and I'm not sure where to begin, okay?
Well, thank you. I decided to take and organize those thoughts, right? And go with that format. So the format would be emergency savings. If at all possible, save some money, even if it's just $10 a week, $25 a week, $25 a month. That's $300 at the end of the year. By all means, save. We need to have some sort of savings plan. But overall, when you're building your house of success, the foundation of that house, of course, is protecting your income. And how do you do that? You protect your income with life insurance. So if it's two of you, a husband and wife, a mother and daughter, father and son, you know how we're living today. Whatever two of you are living together, a life policy should be in place. So should someone unexpectedly expire, then there's funding to properly bury and of course to sustain the household. So once we build that foundation, then you need to have at least a budget. If you're not able to save, that's understandable, but at least take the money that you have and maximize that moment. You make more than enough to cover all your bills, but you choose not to, right? You're too afraid to pay all your bills and have 60 bucks left to your next check. That's called stepping out on faith. Don't pay a little bit so you can have more in your pocket. That's stupid. Always focus on crisis control. If everything is paid for, you are in control. Let that $60 turn into a miracle from God. We'll show you how to do that. So, of course, after we've established the fact that we need a foundation, which is life insurance to take and cover those unexpected expirations, and then, of course, a budget and a savings plan. So, life protection, it's life insurance. That's protecting your income. We don't want to talk about it. We can more than afford life insurance. We can cover our loved ones, right? So someone had passed away, and it's here in Arizona. There's a soldier. He was in the military 10 years. He's married. He has 3 daughters. And so he left the military after doing 2 or 3 tours, and he started a business. Um, I can't recall what he does, but he started a business and he's been in the business 9 months and it's come along. Well, he was driving and came off the road and fell into a ravine and he's dead. So now they're talking about a GoFundMe, and I'm thinking a GoFundMe. Surely an insurance policy was in place, and I'm thinking, what is the wife doing? She's just sitting there and just letting him take charge. No, he was the breadwinner all the time. Even if your spouse is in the military, take extra. The military is going to give you 25,000 or so. Always take more and hold on to that policy, because you have to learn how to prioritize all insurance policies. What do I mean? Let's talk about the policies that you really need to focus on, okay? Now, all you listeners and attendees, I hope you're taking notes. So
Please take notes.
when it comes down to prioritizing your life policy, see, we always worry about the wrong things. Yes, we should be concerned about the light, gas, water. We should be concerned about that, the cable bill, the internet, your phone service, right? But let's not prioritize that. What we're going to prioritize is our home insurance, right? So if you own a home, definitely make sure to take the home insurance, because anything can happen. Better safe than sorry. Okay, so many of us are not homeowners. So with that, you're renting a property. So if you're renting a property, then you need to get renter's insurance. It's a lifesaver. And renter insurance can cost as low as $175, up to a little bit more, depending on all that you want to cover. And then, of course, the third thing you should have in place is your life insurance protection. What do we mean by that? When I say life insurance protection, beyond your job. Yes, we all may have a 9 to 5, and that 9 to 5 will offer you a life policy of maybe 10,000, 15,000, or 25,000. They pay for it while you're employed, and sometimes you're able to take it with you through Cobra. But you should always have your own insurance in place that you can add your spouse, your loved one, your offsprings as a beneficiary, because that's the purpose of you having a life insurance in place, so that they have a resource to stand on as they're going through that life change. You see, when death comes about in a family, those that are left behind, the survivors, they tend to get caught in mourning. They get caught in grieving. And sometimes grieving can take over for months and years. It has caused families to break up. It has caused people to lose their employment, which leads to homelessness due to foreclosure or eviction, because you're devastated by the loss of a loved one and you're grieving. But wouldn't it be wonderful that while you are grieving, that you have funding in place, $100,000, $200,000? That's more than enough to float the household economically, to cover all the bills, and to do more, maybe launch a business, or to start a organization in honor of the one that had left you. Because many of us like to start college scholarships, college funding in honor of those that we have lost. So wouldn't that be wonderful to have that? So it is so important to keep our insurance, our car insurance. If you're going to have car insurance, stop wasting money with liability. Take the full coverage. It is amazing. I have a girlfriend who comes home stressed out every day. She processed claims for a popular insurance company. Okay, so she had a caller call in to file a claim because it was a hit and run against them. So they have insurance, yes, but they only have liability insurance. So they were upset to know that there was no claim in place. But here's the deal: they had been on liability insurance for 10 years. You never valued the value of your car. So, change your mindset, get full coverage, take a life policy out in 6 figures, right? Upgrade on your rental property. And so something happen, your place flood or it catches fire, they will replace everything, all your furnishings, right? So just think of that. just for pennies on the dollars. We can afford it. Just think about the luxuries in life that we have: dining out, dry cleaning, you know, uh, short excursions that may cost us $500. What you can do with $500, you can take out a hefty life policy. You can surely have your rental property insurance, and your car, everything can be insured. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, in regards to quality control, I have four methods. The 30-day method. The 30-day method. What can you pay up in 30 days' time and stay ahead of the game, right? So, like I like to take and grow from the 30-day advancement to like a 90-day. That's 3 months, that's a quarter year. So if you could, whenever you had a chance, why would you not pay your rent in advance and stay ahead of the curve 30 days? See, in doing this is going to be a lifesaver. It may not happen this year or next year, but it may happen. So, for example, we're in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, right? So, when you are diagnosed with it mildly, they encourage you to go home and quarantine yourself for 14 days. However, they say that it takes at least 21 days to make sure that you're not a spreader and things of that nature. So basically, in order to really recuperate from this virus once you're diagnosed mildly, you need 30 days. Well, that's 30 days unemployed. And now, if you're employed, you have to be unemployed for 30 days before you qualify for unemployment. So if you're off the clock 28 days, that's just 28 days lost, but you're welcome to come back. But guess what? Those 30 days of unemployment can be devastating when you don't have crisis control. Why? Because now, oh my God, you couldn't pay your car note and you couldn't pay your car insurance, and now you're behind on your rent. But if you had listened to Angela Sylk Powell, who encouraged you to try the 30-day method and stay ahead 30 days, no worries, because guess what? Your next month rent is already paid. Your next month car note is already paid, and your head insurance, because I encourage you to always pay your insurance full. So when it comes down to the car insurance and you own your car and the insurance is not included in the payment, pay your car insurance every 6 months, right? So that's part of my 6 month plan. But moving forward from the 30-day plan method, is the 90-day plan method. What can you do in 90 days? Hey, if you have the money, pay your rent up for 3 months. If you trust the entity, I wouldn't take that chance if I'm in somebody's home and the owner is the direct management, right? That I made an arrangement with them, because if they fall behind and they have a situation, you're dependent on them to have transparency and honesty in regards to the situation. But of course, if you're dealing with a well-known agency like Keller Williams or Century 21 or Homes for Rent, someone like that, where you're able to go and pay through a portal, then I would absolutely take chance and pay a 3 month in advance payment. That's how I survived 2019. I put myself on a strategic budget. I pay all that I could possibly pay in advance. So when I looked at my savings, I'm like, okay, that's all clear money. And with that, I was able to hold on to funding from 2019, move to Arizona, right? Unemployed, and had enough funding to float me the whole year during coronavirus. I had never put in a claim for unemployment. Now I got my hustle on in between there, jobs here and there to make ends meet and to make sure that I did not deplete my emergency savings. I went on and I started closing some gaps, right? So what can you do in 90 days? That's 3 months. You can pay up your mortgage. You can pay up your rent, right? You can pay up your light bill, water bill. This is what you do in the summer when you live in Arizona, because your bill goes from $100 a month to $300 a month May, June, July, and August. So that's extra money you're not expecting. But if you know that the summer rates are going to be phenomenal, right about April, I start paying 3 months in advance. Start stacking up that money so when the summer hits, I can have a credit of $600 or $700, and then I can just pay that $100 a month. And when summer is over, I'm looking good because I look at my utility bill uh, on a 90-day plan. That's 3 months. And if you live in a place that has high gas bills, down in Georgia or in New York, where your utility is going to increase by 300%, then you can prepare for that. But instead, you do nothing, and then you're trying to join a line to get help. But guess what? Funding depletes. Only the early bird gets the worm. So what is your plan if you're not early enough? So as I said, if you utilize the 90-day concept and you pay your life insurance up and you pay your rent up and your car note up, when a crisis comes and you cannot work for a month or two, no worries. Now all you have to do is maybe go to a co-op for some food, right?
So
Or
what I
some
think I heard
gas.
you say was crisis control 30-day, 60-day, 90-day plan. All right. The first thing you want to do is
Right. We
protect
have
your
the 30-day and the 90-day and 6 months.
right. So the first thing you want to
So,
do,
every for 6 months is at
the
least get everything paid up 30 days in advance. Buy yourself some time.
period. So
Period.
the first thing, beauties, is to be wise about your spending. Look at every dime you are spending and remove the excess, trim the fat. Because what you absolutely have got to have is life insurance. That's the first thing you should do, is protect your income. That was the first step from Angela Sylk Powell. The second step is to look at some extra funds that you have. Now, for those who say they may not have it, if you have a Netflix account, if you have an Amazon account, if you are, what is that thing with Amazon when you get your stuff shipped to you fast? What is that?
Amazon Prime.
If you have the Amazon Prime, if you are buying the latest tennis shoes, if you have red bottom shoes, if you have Coach bags and all, if you got that kind of stuff, then you have had extra money. And
To
so,
why are
what
you
Angela is saying, with that extra money, pay your expenses a month in advance. And then, after you do that, pay your expenses 6 months in advance. And then, 90 days in advance, right?
Yes, that's
So,
3 months. So if you can get accustomed to that, you can win because you're buying
right.
yourself 3 months at a time because you're not able to save as yet. But here's the thing. That's why I say until you can master this, it's not good to sit on money, right? So you sit on the money that you could have paid your rent with for 3 months. You sit on it, then a crisis takes place, right? That you cannot avoid. Your front end on your vehicle. You take it to the shop. They want $985, right? You have the $985, so you go to the bank and you pay it on that, and you should. But what if you tried my concept and you already had the 3 months paid up, and then bam, you need to find $900? I know you're gonna find the $900 because, as you were saying, Towya, if you have Coach in your closet, if you have red bottoms, now they have companies that you can take and sell these items, right? You can
Hmm.
liquidate those items so that you can find this $900. So sell a few things out of your designer closet and get that fixed. But see, if you did not have things paid up, you would utilize the money because guess what? A crisis is always a coming. But we practice crisis control. You be like, oh my God, thank God the rent is paid. I can take my rent money that I would usually spend and put it on this repair. Simple as that. And then, of course, when you mastered it, pay things up for a year. Not everything, but some things. Your car insurance, your life policy. Why not? You know, I'll pay Netflix up for a year to lock that in. I don't have to worry about it because you're like, that's only like $15, right? How much is that? Okay, 60, 70 bucks. Boom, Netflix is done. You think they won't take that money? You think I don't trust Netflix enough to hold my $60? My $100? Come on. So that's a done deal. So your kids have what they need. Because when you get caught up in this month-to-month thing, one thing, it turns into a domino effect. You don't have the cable. You don't have the internet. You have to have the internet because your children are at home working from home, right? All these things. So why are you afraid to pay Cox Cable or whoever your provider is? Why you can't just send them $500? Good, you got cable for the year. If you leave removed, they'll give you a refund.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. So for those who might be saying, "Oh, well, I don't have red bottom shoes and I don't have a Coach bag. Where is this money coming from for me to pay things up?" Well, some of you guys have a really nice income tax refund. Some of you may have had the unemployment check. And if you didn't have any of those things, then you have to be creative. You have to seize opportunities. And if you need help, if you in Arizona, reach out to Angela Sylk Powell. And if you are in Atlanta, reach out to me. Because guess what? Atlanta, Georgia. Because guess what? We know how to help you.
Absolutely. With our financial literacy workshops, we'll be more than happy to assist you. Absolutely. So all it takes is a little discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You hit a great point about the tax return. I remember from 2010 to 2015 as a single mother there in Gwinnett County, Georgia. Thank God I was a homeowner. My house was paid in full. If it wasn't for that, I would not have made it. But then again, I believe in crisis control.
Can you
So in
pause there?
2009,
Angela, I need you to pause. Beauties. I have Angela on this call because she is the truth that she preaches. Did you hear her say her home was paid off when most people are locked into mortgages 30 years? And some people are not locked in 30 years. They might say 15. The point is her home was paid off. This is someone you want to listen to. All it takes is discipline. Discipline and consistency can help so much. Continue, Angela.
Tawaya, being that I specialize in crisis control, I assess myself all the time. I assess myself at the top of the month. I assess myself at mid-year, and I assess myself at the end of the year. And I come up with a strategy. So I had purchased my home in Gwinnett County in 2005. By September 2009, I had paid the home off completely, right? Thank God I did because I didn't know that I was going to have a financial challenge come 2010. So my overhead was just $500, like gas, water, groceries, things of that nature. And I was working part-time at Sam's Club Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I brought in $560 for 3 years. And I made it work. Thank God my house was paid in full. And then once a year in February, I got a tax return. $5,000, $6,000, and I spent that money wisely. Well, when you purchase your home, you're responsible for the taxes. My property taxes are $2,000 a year, and Gwinnett County will only accept the taxes in the month of October. But every February and March, I would have an abundance of money. But anyway, that tax return, I made sure to pay the $2,000 in property tax out of that money. I made sure to pay $800 in full to Allstate for my home insurance. I made sure to pay my car insurance for the year out of that money. And then what was left over, I would go crazy. Woohoo! I have $1,200. But I had to make that other money work and I depended on that money. You understand? To pay my property tax, my home owner's insurance and my car insurance in full, because remember, I was only making $560 a month with a $500 overhead because I owned my home. Thank God. And then people will say, well, you own your home. Why about the this? Oh, well, you still have to exist. You still have to figure that out. So luckily, I had practiced crisis control. Now, I got down to $36,000 or $38,000 on the home. And I was married to a foreigner, a Jamaican, and we had businesses and monies in Jamaica. So now that relationship came to an end, and I had $36,000 sitting in Jamaica. So I said, "Oh my God, I'm going to cash out on this $36,000. So what do I do? Do I live on it dollar for dollar for a year or two, or do I do the crisis control method?" And what did I do? I cashed out of my money in Jamaica for that 38,000. I had the 36,000. I owed 38. I had the cashier's check come, and I went to the bank. I handled my business. I turned that into a cashier's check for the mortgage company, and I took all of that money and sent it straight to my mortgage company. Now I'm down to $2,000. And then I wrote 20 people that I know, and I said, "Hey, family, friends and family, I got my mortgage down to $2,000. God has told me to contact you and ask you for $100." And when I did that, my friends and family sent me money, and I got that down to $1,400. Then God sent an angel to me who knew what was going on in my life without me telling them. And they came and said, "God told me to give you two things. I'm going to give you a check that's attached to my credit card. You take this check and you write it out to your mortgage, the remaining $1,400. And you take this check here and you write this out to the county and you pay your property tax." And ladies and gentlemen, that was September 2009. I made the right decision, because guess what? The $36,000 was going to get spent nonetheless. Now, I could have got a new car. I could have got myself a new Acura. I could have got myself a new Toyota Camry in full. I could have do all those things, but the home ownership is what made more sense. And once I did that in 2009, everything fell in place, and I was able to make it, and I was okay with the little bit that I made, but things eventually changed. So I will teach you and encourage you to always make the decision that would allow you to have crisis control. You heard it from me, Angela Sylk Powell, First Defense, Debt, Rehabilitation, and Credit Repair.
Thank you so much, Angela. How can our beauties get a hold of you?
Okay. Well, a lengthy email address: First Defense Debt Rehab at gmail.com. I check my email. I will absolutely respond to any inquiries or questions. My business number: 623-440-7094. Leave a message and I will return it as soon as I can. Thank you.
And I'll have her information in the description box, beauties. Please check out her other video where she's talking about debt elimination without paying the debt elimination companies. She has a wealth of knowledge that she has shared on this channel. So you guys check out those videos. Angela, thank you so much for sharing with us today. Thank you for being on
Stay
Inward
tuned for the
Beauty.
next segment. See you soon.
Yes. And beauties, thank you for gifting us with your time today. And thank you for tuning in to Inward Beauty, where we remind beauties everywhere of how beauty starts within.